One thing I've started doing that's made a massive difference in the quality of my sessions is putting a timer on all of my rests between sets. Powerlifters are known for being those people doing 2 reps of squats and then resting like 15 minutes, taking like 3 hours just to do a basic workout that's not even that high volume. Now, studies generally favor longer rests, showing benefits, or at the very least, no downsides of longer rests. It makes sense, you want to be recovered before you start doing your next set so you can perform as best as you can and get the best stimulus. And I am making sure I'm resting long enough to still feel recovered, but I do still think there can be some downsides of longer rests, even up to the point of feeling fully recovered, that aren't applied in these studies. Now, the first really obvious one is limited time. This isn't the case for me, but it is for many people I coach. Now, maybe if we're doing a really heavy set of squats or deadlifts, there could be a benefit of resting 8 minutes instead of 5 minutes. But what if it means dropping 2 working sets or cutting out an accessory lift because we don't have enough time? Most studies are going to equate volume, so we're getting a fair comparison here, but in the real world, that's probably not necessarily the case. And after coaching many lifters who are on tight schedules, I can say sometimes accepting slight under recovery can be worth it if we're going to be really limited on workload otherwise. Now, something else that helps my workload on bench is the Odyssey bench mat. This non-slip mat has been a big help in my slippery commercial gym setting to actually use leg drive without just sliding up the bench. You can get one for 10% off with code MATTVENA, all one word, link in the description, pinned comment. Thank you to Odyssey. Now, that was an argument for quantity versus quality. I'm somebody who's not limited on time, and I still found benefits to putting a timer on all of my rests. The first reason, because I wasn't zoning out anymore. I was more focused and my arousal was better during my sets. It's easier to get in your zone and then just maintain it during your sets than it is to lose it and have to regain it over and over again. That can be very mentally fatiguing. Something else that helped me was avoiding doom scrolling on social media between sets. I started just reading books, and there's some research supporting this as a method. Shorter rests also prevented my muscles from going cold. When I said I'll just go again when I feel ready, I'd end up zoning out and resting so long that by the time I was doing my next set, it actually felt like I hadn't warmed up at all. My muscles were tight and cold again. Now, while no study that I know of at least has shown decreased performance with longer rests, I do think you could get to this point, and I bet many powerlifters actually do, because I see people rest for over 10 minutes all the time. Muscle temperature is linked to performance. And something else that helped me with this was walking between sets. I have a sedentary job, so I originally just did this as a way to get my basic steps in, but it's actually again helped me feel fresher from actual sets. And there's some research again showing that light active recovery like this between sets can also increase performance. Besides just the physical fatigue aspect though, coming back to that mental fatigue aspect, that's big. Not zoning out so much and then having to get back in the zone was part, but the other thing was just how long my sessions took. Being in the gym so long can get mentally tiring after a while. This is especially true when you have work or other commitments and you start to get anxious about how you're going to fit everything in with a super long gym session. If you can cut down on the time, it's a lot less mentally fatiguing. As an aside, I think the mental fatigue of more frequent sessions and longer sessions is something that's overlooked in program design. You should be considering it when you're considering how frequently you're going to be going to the gym and how long each session is going to be. Anyways, practical recommendations, of course you can adjust these a bit to you, but here's what I'm doing. For my squat and deadlift working sets, I take 5-minute rest between them. And then for bench and accessory lifts, I do 3 minutes. Again, we want to adjust to the individual, but the principle here should be you're doing just enough as you need to feel recovered and no longer. That's going to minimize the issues that come with going cold and or zoning out. And then again, if you have a real tight schedule, you might err to the point of being slightly under recovered during your sets just to get more overall workload. You're probably going to have to try both versions and see which one works better for you. But that's basically it, guys. I really recommend you try timing your rest. You should see benefits like I did. See the description and pinned comment for where to contact me for coaching programs, my socials, and links to Odyssey bench mats. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And once again, thanks for watching.